Hi, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube. Today I have a guest, and it's Lewis Huckstep from Australia. Welcome, Lewis.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with you today.
Yeah, me too. And we have a very nice topic today to talk about because this is a thing that it's important for both of us, I think, and that is to heal and to move on. And that's something I read in a quote that you put on Instagram, because I follow you for a while on Instagram, and awesome. With my experience about healing and to go forward, it's I feel it brings something to me when I read your post. So we can talk about that, Lewis. Can you talk about a little about healing?
Yeah, for
How you
sure.
see that?
I guess firstly, thank you for having me here. And I hope something that I share today resonates with someone and adds a bit of value to someone and helps them along their healing journey, their growth journey, because ultimately that's the journey that we are all on. And I don't remember the quote, the person who shared this quote, but we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And there's so much in that quote alone, but I'll come back to that soon. I guess all of us are working through our own stuff. We're all on our journey to heal, to grow, to, I guess, work through the wounds that we've experienced in our upbringing that keep triggering us, that keep setting us off in our relationships, in our personal life, in our professional life. And I think the best analogy that makes sense to me anyways, when I learned this, is it just like your body. If you were to get a cut on your arm, you've got an intelligence that naturally heals it. You don't have to tell your body to send the blood cells there and to tell your body to heal the wound. It wants to heal. It wants to patch it up. It wants to move on, because that's what we're made to do. We're made to survive. We're made to heal from wounds. We're designed to do that. And the same thing is true for your mind. And that includes psychological wounds or trauma or things that you've been through that you haven't let go of or you haven't forgiven yet. Our mind wants to heal. It wants to forgive. It wants to let go of those things, because the thing that we hold on to, it's what weighs us down. And the trauma that we haven't, I guess, healed through is what continuously gets triggered until we actually heal through that. I've got a beautiful, quite a funny story about that. I was playing a board game with a good friend of mine, and we were playing this, and we both understand this topic. We speak quite deeply into this topic. And we were just playing a board game, and I used a rubber to rub out my answer. And he made like this weird little like cringe or this little reaction to the rubber that I used. And it was really weird. I was like, man, what the hell was that? Like, you just really, I know, cringed up and really reacted weirdly to that rubber. And he's like, I just hate rubbers. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's what has it done to you? What has the rubber done to you? And for me, the quote that I love that I guess I'm leading to with this is that life presents you with people and circumstances to reveal the wounds that you haven't healed through. And that's so whenever you are triggered, whenever someone sets you off, whenever something gets you, there's a wound there that it's triggering, which once you heal through will no longer trigger you. So off that story, I said, my friend, tell me, when was there a really painful experience that you went through in life and there was a rubber involved, or there was a rubber present when it happened? And his eyes like shot out of his head, because he remembered this time when he was in school. He was in like year 5 or something. And he remembers the teacher's name. He remembers it really clearly. He was chewing on a rubber in school. He was quite an autistic kid, just like me. And the teacher got him up in front of the class for chewing on the rubber and humiliated him in front of the entire class until he cried. And that was quite a painful and traumatic experience for him. And we worked through that. We actually healed that wound there and there. I always asked the right questions. How has that served you? What were the benefits of that experience? How has that made you stronger? What lessons has that taught you? How has that made you a better partner, a better human being? What skills has it given you? And we kept going, and we kept asking that question for about 20 minutes. And he got to a point where it's like, holy shit, or oh my God, I'm so grateful this has happened. I'm so grateful that even though it was painful, there was a blessing within the pain. And after we did that little exercise together, the rubber no longer triggered him. So I guess my views on healing is that we all have healing to be done. It's trauma that we've been through. It's an experience or pain that we've been through, and life will continue to trigger those wounds in you until you heal through them. So you can choose to ignore it, or to blame it, or to attack it, or to stick your head in the sand, or avoid the triggers, or you can recognize that it's actually giving you awareness of where there are wounds to heal, and start to look within and start doing the inner work, which is so powerful once you start. But I guess most people just avoid doing it because it's painful. So it's a bit of a catch-22, but that's my views on healing.
It's a kind of love letters from universe, that you have something to look at. And and sometimes you need to go through a lot of pain to see what you had to look better into. It was like that for me, that I had to go through a lot of pain. But then you start to open up and see what's inside of you.
Very true.
So how did you come through the knowing about the inside?
I guess your upbringing obviously shapes you into who you are today. And I had my fair share of I guess traumatic experiences and pain when it comes to mental health, when it comes to emotions, regulating my emotions, and understanding, I guess, how to manage my mindset and work on myself, because I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of pain, a lot of healing to be done that was really, I guess, painful for me when I was growing up. And I guess we're always drawn towards our calling. We're always drawn towards our purpose. We're always drawn towards the things that inspire us, just by following our inspiration and listening to our intuition, which maybe some people haven't done for a while. So I guess just through that, I guess, natural experience, I found myself into self-development. I found myself listening to great teachers, whether it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. John DeMartini, Dr. Nicole LaPria, Dr. Sarah Woodhouse, done many teachers over my time. And once you find it, depending who you are, like for me, it was like an addiction. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like Tony Robbins was my first, I guess, introduction to self-development. And when I just first discovered him, just on YouTube was where I started. It was just like, it's like the Matrix, where you take the blue pill and you see everything. It's like you see everything for what it is, and you just understand, and you get to see that you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You can work through those things that were maybe you're ashamed of, or maybe you were hurt when you went through it. It can all be worked through. So for me, I think I just found my way naturally into self-development through my journey that I went through. Mine came through a business journey. So I started getting into business, and then self-development and business generally go hand in hand. And then when I started doing that, I was just really drawn to the psychological aspect of how to heal, how to forgive, all the spiritual side of things, finding your purpose in life, learning how to let go from the people and the things that have hurt you, because it's actually what's weighing you down, and it's what's actually triggering you and holding you back. So I think just having my natural journey through business, then getting introduced to people like Tony Robbins, like Kerwin Ray, who's an Australian guy, through DeMartini, who's probably my biggest influence for my learning and my healing. Joe Dispenza was also very big. Nicole LaPria was really huge when I got into how to do the work. That was really awesome. So I just continued following those things that really interested me and really fascinated me, and I was just really curious about. And I guess it just led me to this topic, where I now help people understand and find their purpose, heal from their past, learn how to forgive, learn how to love, learn how to move on from those painful experiences.
Yeah, and it's a very huge difference to know if you are broken or not, because I thought that I was broken, mentally broken, something was wrong with me, and someone out there had to fix it. And when I understood that that wasn't true, that was my thinking and other thinking about me, it changed the way I saw myself. It changed, and now it's another direction that I can see that I have everything inside of me, and the healing can done the work by itself. I don't need to got that help in that way from other things. I had, this is a system inside, a guide inside that can take care of that, and that's changed everything in life. That you maybe you don't like your feelings sometimes. I don't like my feelings all the time. Sometimes I feel sad and angry and all the things. I see myself not good enough, but I know now that it's just my thinking, and that changed the way of living.
So powerful once you start to look within and start to explore everything that you're talking about.
Yeah, because we got all these feelings. We have all these feelings, sadness and anger, and but it's not that you need to do something to put it away. You need to go through it.
Something that comes to mind as you say that is people, they think they need to disown or cut off or remove a part of themselves. Like they feel bad for feeling those bad emotions, and bad is just a label that we give things. There's nothing bad about feeling sad. There's nothing bad about feeling down. There's nothing wrong about it. It's a part of the human experience. You can't experience happiness without feeling sadness. You can't experience positive without negative. So it's just there to balance our experience as human beings. So I just love that you've the way that you said that, because people think that it's like they put labels that like some emotions are good and some emotions are bad. Like there's no good or bad. They both have their place, and you can't experience one without the other. So just being able to allow yourself to express everything about you and not try to disown some of you, because like some emotions come to mind that if you feel them, they're bad emotions, and therefore you're a bad person for experiencing them. And it's the judgment at which we place upon it, which actually gives it its power over us, and it comes a bit of a vicious cycle. So yeah, I love that what you were sharing, how for anyone listening, like make sure that you express everything that comes up. If there's some hurt inside of you, you want to express that. You want to learn how to love that. You want to learn how to process that. So yeah, don't feel bad, and don't be hard on yourself or judge yourself for feeling whatever emotions come up for you.
And I can see if we are a part of the nature, I can see in the nature with the flowers and things. I was out with a friend yesterday, and we were looking at the nature and the flowers, and there were no flowers now. It was just resting everything. And it's like the human, that we go in and out in sometimes we open up for more and we blooming, and sometimes we need to stay still and rest, and it's like the seasons.
So beautiful.
Yeah, that's good to know that we don't have to be like blooming all the time. We are the flower inside, but we don't need to have this open all the time. And because we are a part of the nature, we can rest in that maybe we need to do like the bear. We need to go and have the sleeping sometimes.
Absolutely.
And we can see that now in the winter, a lot of people need to go inside and rest.
Absolutely.
And then spring comes, and all the flowers is coming, and we get energy and want to come out, and we are inspired and want to do things, and maybe it's just how it is that we have to follow it, and that's the allowing that we don't need to be that full of energy all the time.
Yeah, if you expect life to be one-sided, you'll generally attract a nightmare to balance that out. It's like if you just try to be positive all the time and happy and excited all the time, you're going to burn the candle out. You're going to, it's just not sustainable. I used to actually live life like that. And I used to try to put on a front and put on a mask and just try to be Mr. Positive, Mr. Motivation all the time. And there's obviously a time and place if you're a leader, if you're a business owner, if you're a parent or whatever it may be, where it is time to be strong and to step up and do what you need to do. But everyone has down moments. Everyone has down experiences. So it's learning to just accept and love all parts of yourself, even if you're feeling down, even if you're feeling sad, even if you're feeling doubtful. Like I was sick last week personally. There's a bit of a sickness going around on the Gold Coast at the moment where I am. And I felt terrible. But it's like giving that time to recharge and slow down, forcing you to slow down. I feel amazing today. It's like a fresh week now, and I'm nice and recharged, which is a benefit of getting sick. It forces you to slow down. It forces you to take some time to reflect and some time to look within. So yeah, I absolutely agree.
How did it change it for your family when you started to see more and more about yourself and who we are?
I guess for me, anyways, I do know a lot of people go through this experience as well. Is they'll kind of drink the Kool-Aid and they'll have the epiphany of, oh my God, like you can have life on your terms. We can work on ourselves. We look at all this self-development. You can do all this inner work, and they go and try to drag people with them and drag people to the altar and drag people to the water hole to take the drink, where sometimes that can be really exhausting and really because you can drag a horse to water and you can't make it drink. And that's honestly what I did at the start, as I was trying to force my family and force my friends to really come with me and come on this journey and start to look within and start to heal and start to grow and start to become our best versions and all that good stuff. But generally when you push people, they generally push back, and it generally creates a bit of conflict and a bit of resistance. So from my experience anyways, when I first was very naive, when I got into self-development, I just thought it was like the best thing ever. And I thought it was amazing and everyone should have this and everyone should be doing this. And I still believe that to a degree, that working on yourself is the best investment you'll ever make. Working on you and healing through your stuff and working on your inner stuff, understanding your purpose in life, your values in life, and the vision for your life, and working through your wounds and your trauma that you've got. Like, I truly believe that is so powerful, and it changes your life when you do it. And you know that from your journey, but people need to want to do it. They need to be ready for their journey. So from my experience anyways, my family loves me. I love them. I talk to them almost every day. They're very inspired by what I do, and they're very grateful and happy for what I do. And they're starting to come around, and not that I have the pressure to them anymore that I used to when I first started. I was trying to force them to go to workshops and to read books and to do the work, because I just know how powerful it can be. But I was trying to force them to drink the water. So for me, I guess my experience, and for anyone that's on their self-growth journey, is I actually recommend to not push, to not, I guess, try to get them to take a drink, is just to be the best version of you, to work on you, to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to be happy, to work on you, because you're just going to show up differently. You're going to speak differently. You're going to glow and shine differently. And that in itself can be the invitation that they're needing for them to start the journey, rather than you just trying to push them and force them, which exhausts you. It frustrates them. So yeah, it was definitely frustrating at the start. It was exhausting at the start. But I've just come to a level now where I love them for exactly who they are. regardless if they're growing or healing or not. It's learning to love unconditionally and accept them for who they are, but forever just working on me and forever being that inspiration to myself first and foremost, to my partner, to my team, to my clients, and to my family. And whenever they are ready, and they have reached out a couple of times, whenever they do reach out, I'm there for them. But I'm not forcing them anymore, which I tried early on, but that's been my experience.
But I really recognize myself in that, because if you have seen something, you want to share it, but like you say, they need to be ready for it, and you have to, and I can see that I have to take care of myself, and when I do that, I can light from within, and I spread it to others. But
Absolutely.
it's easy, and I have seen it. A lot of people that I have met doing this journey, they feel the same. They wanted to share it so much, especially with the nearest family, and they were not interested in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's love. It's love. You want to share something that you've seen change, and I know that a lot of work with with yourself out there is not helping. If you must change something from the outside, that's not helping. And then you want to point people, don't go there. I've been there. Yeah. But they have to do their journey. It's like you said. Journey. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I don't know what's coming up now. Have you something you want to share?
I guess the things that I generally share is, I guess, inviting people to follow what I said earlier, like get clear on what inspires them, what really draws them. Like my passion is helping people create a life that they love and create a life where they be their true, unapologetic, authentic self, and create a life that allows you to live that. So that's kind of what generally shows up for me. And I guess all the steps in between there, from understanding your purpose to understanding your values, to getting clear on the vision for your life and where you're heading, doing all the inner work, which obviously this podcast has been all about. And I guess working on you, healing, letting go, reprogramming any of those negative beliefs that we've downloaded from other people, from our environment, from our parents, from society, from the education system, wherever you picked it up from. And I guess just continuously working on you from a personal level, but then also balancing that with the strategic side of things as well, because life is not just rainbows, pixie dust, and love. That's not all it is. There is that part of it, and that's definitely, I think, the bigger part of it. But there's also the strategic part of it as well. It's like, well, how do I actually, with technology, with the world that we live in, with society the way it is, how do you strategically build a life where you can be your authentic self, where you can truly be you? I love the quote that I use all the time is, when what you do is the fullest expression of who you are, you will do your life's best work. So that comes back to understanding your purpose, your values, your mission, your vision, removing all of the things that aren't you. So all the wounds, all the limiting beliefs, the ego, the anxiety, the depression, the self-doubt, the self-sabotage, removing all of that isn't you, because that's just things you've downloaded and picked up from other people and from your past experiences. Learning to heal that inner child of yours so your true authentic self shines through, and then build a life where you get to be that person every single day. What lights you on fire? I love coaching. This podcast for me is coaching, or this YouTube video for me is coaching. So I designed a life where I get to coach every single day. If you love art, if you love music, if you love nature, if you love traveling, if you love your kids, if you love your partner, design a life where you get to do that majority of the time. It can take sacrifice, it takes work, but there's literally like 15, 16, 18-year-olds making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars online, doing things that they love. I always use the example, there's this kid on YouTube that reviews videos of toys. His name's Ryan. I just call him Ryan's Toys, that I always Google. And his net worth right now, I'm just Googling it right now, as of 2023 is estimated to be $100 million. And he is 10 years old. He's been doing it for a fair few years now. And it's reviewing toys on YouTube. Like, it's amazing what you can do. So that's more the strategic side of it. So for me, it's balancing obviously what we're talking about today with the strategic. Okay, how do I take my purpose? I've healed through my wounds. I've let go of all that shit from the past. But now how do I actually build a life doing what I love, where I can hang out with my beautiful partner, I can spend time with my kids, I can travel the world if I choose to, I get to work the hours that I choose to, I get to spend time reading books, which is something I'm sure you and me love doing. And it's creating a life where you get to do that every single day. So I guess that's what generally comes up for me. And then all the intricacies within that, from building a product, learning how to sell it, working on yourself, working on your wounds, or working on your shitty beliefs, working on your ability to be a great leader for your team, being present for your partner, learning how to communicate health in a healthy way to your partner, holding space for your partner to be vulnerable and for her to heal or for him to heal. So yeah, that's generally what comes up for me. So create a life that you love, get clear on who you are, get clear on where you're going, get clear on all the inner work that needs to be done to get there, and then figure out the strategic skill set and the strategic actions that are going to get you to get there. So that's kind of what's coming up for me.
And how to hear that, you must quiet a little bit from the outside, so you can hear and feel. The feeling tells you if you light up or not, and go that way where you feel the light, when you feel the energy comes through you, and that's how I see it. That go that way, and when you feel like your energy and mood goes down, don't go there.
Yeah, it's just feedback. I always ask, what's this feedback for? Whenever you feel enthusiastic, whenever you feel certain, whenever you feel inspired, whenever you feel energized. Like right now, I feel energized, I feel inspired, I feel focused, I just feel alive doing this. And that for me is a sign of my highest value, which is coaching. But you have yours. Everyone has their own. It might be, again, it might be music, it might be dancing, it might be business. You might just love business. You might love finances. You just really are curious and fascinated with finances. But it's just figuring out what that is for you, and then designing a life around that and doing the inner work that's going to stop you from getting there. That's
why I do this. I invite you and all the guests I have invited, because it light me up. I feel that it's also both healing and coaching me, that we share together, and every time we learn something, and so it brings so much when we connect, and 100%. It's beautiful that we can do that. It's your evening and my early morning, and we live in a different part of the world, and we function the same. It's no difference. It's just culture and religion and things that are different, but the human and the soul and the inside, it's the same.
Follow what you're inspired and follow your curiosity. And if you just do those literal two things, follow your intuition, follow what inspires you, follow what you're curious about, you just continue that and keep trying the different flavors and listening to the feedback that you feel, you're going to create a life that you love.
And I every day I open my Instagram, I read your quotes, and I just love them. They are so, they point to deep things that really need to read and listen to look at it, and just think about what you point to. and that's really good things. I love
Thank
them.
you.
Yeah, and we need to have people to just put these things up, that we have all these qualities inside of us, that we are not broken. We got this. We just have to trust it.
Absolutely.
It's the trust that we are guided, and that's the thing that I didn't know. I thought I was broken, but I know that it's just my feelings coming from thoughts, and it's nothing wrong with that.
Wounds once healed give you strength. And I think just from your comment that you're not broken, and no one is. It's just we've gone through, again, our own experience of trauma, our own experience of wounds, our own experience of bad beliefs or shitty beliefs or limiting beliefs. And once that is healed, it gives you strength. And you can look at example after example of people that have been through horrendous experiences, from Oprah Winfrey to Viktor Frankl, his book Man's Search for Meaning, which is right behind me. And he went through for people that don't know his story, go read the book. It's a short book. You can read it in an afternoon. He went through a concentration camp in World War II where his brother, his father, his mother, his partner were all killed in a concentration camp. He went through it for 3 years. He went through the full experience, and he shares experiences in the book. He survives, and he comes out the other side with gratitude, with inspiration and meaning to give back to the world, to give back because of what he went through. And if he can do that, why can't we do the same thing? Because the beautiful thing of going through pain is once it's healed, it gives you purpose. It gives you pleasure. It gives you passion. The greater the pain, the greater the purpose. But it's once it's healed. When it's not healed, it's like an open wound. If you touch it with a cat hair, it's going to set you off. It's going to trigger you. Hence, back to the point we're talking about, life presents you with people and circumstances to reveal those wounds that you haven't healed through. So once it is healed, though, because there is nothing wrong with you, you've just been given opportunities to heal that you may or may not have done yet. But once you do, it gives you absolute strength. It gives you absolute purpose, absolute passion to help people generally with the things that you've actually been through. Because we generally become the people that we needed when we were at our lowest. We generally become the people that we needed when we were younger, when we were hurt, when we needed love and we needed that support. And then you can become that person by working on yourself, and then actually give back to those people who were you back when you needed the help. So yeah, I love what you're saying.
So beautiful. Inside system, and something intelligence bigger than our personal ego. Something we can call it God, but something who knows, something it knows better than the personal, because we got so caught up in our own ego.
Ego for me is just the identity of who you've created, of who you need to be successful, to be loved, to be enough, which is just a persona. It's all. We are exactly who we are meant to be loved. We are perfect the way that we are. Not perfect in the sense of we only have upsides and no downsides. We're only happy, not sad. Perfect is the integration of both sides. So we are perfectly beautiful and loved exactly who we are, but the ego is the identity that we've created based on society, based on upbringing, based on religious views as well, of who we need to be good enough. And then when people challenge that, or people disagree with that, or people trigger that, your ego generally comes up to defend yourself. Ego also protects you from your wounds. So if someone presses on a wound or presses on a trauma, or just something that you haven't healed through yet, your ego generally comes up again and wants to defend and wants to deflect and wants to attack and wants to deny. So yeah, learning
And then
to be
you have
conscious
the
of
behavior. The behavior comes with the ego.
yeah.
If you got a bad behavior.
Mm. And yeah, the ego, yeah, will show. It's a very, very interesting topic, the ego, and it's it does obviously hold back a lot of people, trigger a lot of people. But yeah, once you can understand it, obviously coming back to the, I guess, the topic of this video, once you can heal it, once you do a lot of healing, the ego is less present because it's got less things and less wounds to protect. So yeah, I guess just another reason to keep doing the healing work.
Yeah. So you live in Australia and you work as a podcaster or a coach. What do you serve people with in Australia?
Beautiful. I do a fair few things, but I guess I'm a coach, number one. That's what I love doing, coaching people mentally, emotionally, pretty much everything I said, I think midway through the podcast. How to just create a life that you love, how to create a life that you dream, how to chase your dreams and create a life on your terms where you wake up and do things that you absolutely love. That involves obviously inner work, that involves healing, that involves the tactical side as well, which is like, how do you start a business? How do you get leads? How do you make sales? How do you hire people? So I do podcasts. So I have my own podcast as well. So it's just called Lewis Huckstep. If you just type that in anywhere, I'll generally pop up. I take one-on-one clients. I do have one in literally like 60 seconds. So I do need to jump off soon and jump on that. And yeah, I just love helping people with pretty much everything that we're speaking about today, everything that you're about, Cecilia, about healing work, about inner work. But I also then do enjoy the other side of things, the balance, which is the strategic. Okay, what products are we making? How are we helping people? How are we changing lives? How are we marketing that? How are we selling that? How are we hiring people? What systems, what processes? So it's the Buddha and the bends. You want to be super happy, super fulfilled, super spiritual, super whole, but then you want to do very well commercially, not to the level to just buy nice things and flash and show off, but to do well so you can give back and you can live a life that you love. You don't have to fucking stress about the bills. You don't have to worry about paying rent. It's like the commercial side of you is looked after. I do have a client like very soon, so I do need to jump off pretty
yeah. So I'm so happy that you wanted to do this recording with me, and then now I'm putting it out on my YouTube. So thank you very much for this. I hope we meet again.
Time. I appreciate it. Let's stay in contact, and thank you for sharing your message with the world. Thank you for anyone that's listened all the way to the end. And yeah, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much, Lewis.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.